It's Christmas time, a time of wonder, amazement, and dreading what the next year could bring. 2020 has been a crazy year. It's insane to think that 1 year ago, I was a very different person who went outside sometimes. Yeah. And so, with the most apocalyptic year behind us, with no chance of anything happening between now and New Year's, and 2021 can only be better, let's look at the apocalypse we managed to avoid at some point in the year, probably in the cult classic Fallout. I probably don't need to explain what Fallout is. The post-apocalyptic RPG is pretty much a household name, not because of how incredible the series has managed to stay over these 23 years, but because Bethesda has no idea what the fuck they're doing. But it's thanks to the people who worked at Interplay that we got what is considered one of the best RPGs in history. You play as a resident of a vault, which are large underground bunkers designed to house people for many centuries while they waited for the nuclear fallout from the alternative history Cold War to clear, and to begin recolonizing Earth. Your vault, Vault 13, no longer has working showers, and so the overseer of the vault sends you out to find a replacement water chip. And that's it. No dragon attacking the village, no Cthulhu trying to hump the earth to death, just find a water chip. Should be easy enough. Oh god, okay, let's talk about character creation. Stats are pretty standard, but rather than the standard names, Fallout changes some, with pretty much the only reason being so they can say your stats are special instead of stick-kick. And these stats do exactly what you think. Endurance lets you tank hits, agility lets you run around like a goblin, strength lets you Hulk smash, that sort of thing. Interestingly, unlike most RPGs, these stats are almost never increased over the course of the game. Instead, the main focus is on increasing your skills. There are 18 different skills in Fallout, all with different uses and all correlate to different stats, which influence their value. These skills are also pretty self-explanatory. Oh geez, I wonder what I use lockpicking for. When creating your character, you'll choose 3 skills to receive a bonus to their value, and will increase by an extra amount when you put points into them when you level up. You may also choose traits. You can get up to 2 optional traits, and these are both buffs and debuffs to your character and the world around them. You have things like small frame, which makes you harder to hit but decreases your carry weight. Or there's the best trait, Jinxed, which increases the chances of everyone critically failing in combat, including yourself. So combat with anyone and anything is like a slapstick comedy as you drop your gun and super mutants fucking kill themselves trying to punch you. But Jinxed isn't enough to stop everyone from hitting you. This game is hard. You can find encounters where people will deal double your health and damage with a single hit. And even if you do survive the hit, healing the shotgun shot to your stomach isn't as simple as just pressing a button. You'll need to use a stim pack from your inventory, which takes time and uses up your action points when being done in combat. Combat is turn-based, and you have a limited amount of things you can do in a round. Shooting, reloading, using items, moving, even opening up your inventory. They all cost action points. If you've played something like Divinity Original Sin, it's like that. And you need to ration the fuck out of these action points. You'll barely have enough to shoot a gun, and afterwards you can only inch your way in a direction. You can get companions to help you in combat, however these are controlled by the AI. And the I part only exists for the name because intelligent sure as shit doesn't work in describing them. But it's no problem, because I never had an AI companion survive a single fight. Every time, without fail, I entered combat with a companion, they were dead before the fight was over. So I just stopped recruiting them because I got on fine on my own. Different weapons take different amounts of action points to use, so for example a pistol may be able to shoot 2 times a round, while you can only shoot an assault rifle once. Weapons can also have different firing modes, but all have at least a single shot and a single shot with VATS, which allows you to target a specific body part, not just the head, torso, arms and legs, but you can go more specific and go for the eyes. Dealing enough damage to body parts can have different effects. You can slow enemies down by shooting their legs, you can blind them by shooting their eyes, that sort of thing. In fact, it's optimal. Each body part has different crit multipliers, so if you go for a crit build, hitting the eyes can pretty much kill anything. That is, if you even plan on getting into fights.
Hello, pretty lady. You look real nice.
Because Fallout falls among the likes of Arcanum and Planescape, which is RPGs in which conversations play a major part of the gameplay. You aren't some lone gunman wandering around the wastes trying to find your daddy, or trying to end robot racism. You're someone who is sent out of the safety of their vault, and everyone around you is just trying to survive in the harsh wastelands. Not everyone wants to fight. It's possible to get through a large part of this game without entering combat with a single humanoid. There are so many people to talk to, with distinct personalities, some even have talking heads. You get to see what this character in particular looks like, what they sound like, their tone of speech, in a game where everyone else is just text. Early on, I discovered there was a raider camp near one of the towns, and coming from Fallout 3 and later games, I thought this would be a massive combat arena with raiders, but I entered the camp and could actually talk to people. They weren't immediately hostile to me. I could learn what they're like, how they live. It's so small, but in Bethesda's Fallout, every single one of these raiders would be shooting me on sight, regardless of the fact that they have no reason to. They aren't generic enemies with guns and knives, they're raiders resting in their camp, and I just walked in on them having an orgy. I like to see you catch these hands with your knife stuck in your throat. Oh. And there are some real interesting characters you can encounter in the Wasteland, like an AI in an underground facility, with one of your opening lines being that you can question if it really is intelligent, and can get into a discussion on what it means to think. What? Bro, I'm just down here for the drugs. One conversation later and I come out thinking like one of those Greek homos that defeated the chicken and said it was a human. You can even speak to the super mutants. From Fallout 3 onwards, super mutants are treated as pretty much post-apocalyptic orcs, with very few actually letting you talk to them. The most outstanding part of Fallout is the writing. Fallout is a game where you talk a lot, so a lot of care had to go into what you could say, and some of my favourite lines in video games are here. Ah, heck with it. Watch these feminine wiles, mutie. One of my favourite parts of Fallout's conversations is that your stats influence the options you get in conversations. Not just your speech giving you new dialogue options, but if your character is a diagnosable dumbass, the game becomes 100 times harder as you are practically unable to have conversations with people because you are only capable of making vague noises. You only ever see the dialogue options you are able to choose. If you went for a combat focused character but tried to talk your way out of confrontations, you may think it's impossible, that you can't talk your way out of any fight because there are no options that allow it. But in reality, your character can't talk their way out of a fight because they aren't charismatic enough. Fallout purposefully doesn't tell you what conversation options are locked off and which options are only available because your speech is high enough, and I fucking love it. It puts pressure on the player to choose the best option because you are never told what is the high speech option. If you want to convince someone of something, you need to choose the options that would convince them, not the options that tell you they're from the speech skill, which is what Bethesda's Fallouts do because they think Fallout should be for 5-year-olds. Why engage the player in conversations where they need to think very carefully about what they say when they can AFK through a conversation? Trying to AFK brain your way through Fallout is a good way to get lost quickly. Fallout has a very simplistic journal and no quest markers. You have to rely heavily on your memory to remember what it is you need to do and where you need to go. It isn't too bad, the objectives are pretty simple and don't get too deep. Most will just be get a quest, kill someone or get something, hand in the quest, done. Anything more complicated than that is the main story, which is pretty vague. You'll be spending your time working on the main quest, just talking to people, figuring out where it is you need to go, getting items you need, and completing side quests, some directly relating to the main quest, and you'll usually be guided and indirectly directed to where you need to go. And this is because Fallout's design is fucking godlike. When you start, you have a single location on your map, Vault 15, where it is believed you can get a water chip from. So naturally you head to the only landmark on your otherwise blank map, and on your way there, BAM! Another location. You can either look into this place or keep heading to Vault 15. Let's head to Vault 15 to start with. We're on a time limit after all. So we head inside, make our way past the rats, get to the elevator and oh, the elevator is out. If we want to continue, we'll need to get a rope or something. Well, it just so happens we pass a town on the way here, so let's check that out. With a single marker on your otherwise completely blank map, Fallout managed to seamlessly guide you into looking into a place you were never explicitly directed towards without you even noticing. It teaches the player to look around, because you never know what obstacles are in your way. An astute player may enter the town for supplies immediately and may notice the first person you can talk to has a rope. They think, better buy this just in case, and when they go to Vault 15, they already have the rope for the elevator shaft. Fallout is noticeably handcrafted. The map, characters, and dialogue are meticulously designed and written to lead you in the right direction by leaving a bread trail you don't even notice is being laid. After asking around the town while looking for someone with another rope, it turns out there are towns further south. I should go looking down there for another rope. Fallout's design makes you feel like you're solving your own problems without you realizing you are playing exactly how the designers expected you to play. From having one location on your map, the entire map is revealed to you little by little exactly as you need it. If I was to give any advice to someone who was to play Fallout for the first time, it would simply be explore. You're going to be in the dark, but if you talk to people and look around, you'll eventually figure out where you need to go. But this isn't to say I think Fallout is absolutely perfect. Fallout is old. Really old. After 23 years, the game is prone to crashes because the game randomly decides your encounter here should be having to reload your last save, which could be ages ago because the game doesn't autosave. Also, navigating the maps can be annoying. There's no way of getting to the world map without entering a specific edge of the map you're currently on. So if you're 6 levels deep in some facility, you need to walk all the way back up to the surface to leave. There was one time I thought I got trapped in a place because the area for leaving was somewhere I didn't think you could go, because it was so out of the way, and where it should have been was an area for moving on to the next part of the area. So I had to actually load a save to leave because I couldn't find the way out. And while I think Fallout giving the player very little direction is great, it can go a bit overboard. Stop the super mutants. Where? How? Oh god, I'm getting flashbacks.
U.S. Marines got Ram Ranch under lockdown.
Asking around about some vague thing is kind of the main point of the game, but barely anyone has anything to say about super mutants and where they're coming from. They could have given some direction. My biggest problem is the second half of the game. It is so fucking annoying. You run around for hours trying to figure out where to go, because you are told literally nothing to help start you off. And if you do know where to go, you have to deal with a sudden difficulty spike. Go to this mysterious cathedral, fucking die. Join the Brotherhood and raid the military base, fucking die. Check out the glow, fucking die. The first half is so well done, and it pisses me off to no end that you have to spend hours in the second half just wandering around trying to get to the point where you can play the game again. I even got to the fucking final boss because my speech was high enough and managed to practically finish the game, with the only thing stopping me being a super mutant in the hall that will one-shot me as soon as I try to leave. It's almost like it was two different teams. Getting the water chip is fun and engaging, the directing of the player is phenomenal, and as soon as you've done that, the game decides it wants to do everything it can to stop you from playing it. Want to explore? One shot. Know where to go? One shot. Just doing the questline for a faction? One shot. Once you get to the second half, you'll know. The first thing you should do is get better gear. The difference gear makes is the difference between life and death. Getting armor 1 tier better is the difference between getting one shot and taking almost no damage. The difficulty spike is just annoying. I wandered for hours until I just looked up where to get power armor and a weapon worth giving a shit about with more than 2 shots. And yeah, I had to Google where to get an AK because it's not in the place with the fucking gun sign. Okay, I'm getting dangerously close to spoilers, so if you don't want complete spoilers, go to here. Are they gone? Okay. When you get the water chip, you report to the Overseer, who notices the amount of super mutants you came across in your time in the Wasteland, and now tasks you with stopping them before they threaten the vault. So you head back out. You find out there's a military base full of super mutants, and it's being used as a base of operations for creating even more mutants. As you go to blow it up, you hear about this cult that's obsessed with unity and someone called the Master.
He's busy with the children of the cathedral. They actually consider us gods. But then, who can blame them?
So, when you're done with the military base, you assault the cathedral this cult is based in, and it is here you meet the Master.
So what shall it be? Do you join the Unity, or do you die here?
Join.
Die.
Join.
Die.
A fusion of machinery and flesh, who believes the super mutants are the only way for humanity to survive in the Wasteland, to survive everyone using a virus that was made before the bombs fell that creates superhuman soldiers, uniting everyone under the banner of unity, leaving the non-compliant humans to die while the radiation immune and stronger super mutants live on.
The Unity will bring about the master race,
Master.
one able to survive, or even
Thrive.
in the Wasteland. As long as there are differences, we will
Tear ourselves apart.
fighting each other. We need one race,
Race.
one goal,
Goal.
Goal.
one people to move forward to our destiny. Destiny.
This is everything the game has been building up to. The one who wants to single-handedly kill off the entire human race as we know it, and you have to stop it. In Fallout fashion, it's possible to talk them out of this plan, pointing out that the super mutants are sterile, which brings about the most humanizing thing I think I've ever seen in an antagonist.
I don't think that I can continue to have done the things I have done in the name of progress and healing. It was madness. I can see that now. Madness. Madness. There is no hope. Leave now. Leave while you still have.
You're then given a 240-second countdown and must escape the facility. I'm running as fast as my legs will take me. I make it to the vault door and I'm met with 2 super mutants, who proceed to kill me again and again and again and again and oh my fucking god! Again. I haven't finished Fallout, and I don't think I can, because I cannot get past these 2. No amount of glass-shattering screaming over the fact that I should be allowed to finish the fucking game already is going to get me to the end. And I can't be fucked running around like a headless chicken again. Knowing that I'm not exploring to try to find something new and exciting, I'm exploring to find something that makes me strong enough to finish the game I fucking finished. And that's it. Fallout is an incredible RPG, albeit with a caveat that the game managed to shoot itself in the foot for me in the worst way possible. For those that didn't hear, I didn't finish this game, and I don't think I have the mental strength to be able to. And it disappoints me to no end because I have yet to find another game that engaged me with exploration and conversations the same way Fallout did. I'm pretty sure this game has changed the way I play RPGs now, and it's for this reason alone I would recommend this to any fan of RPGs who somehow haven't played this. Especially fans of classics like Planescape and Arcanum. I've seen Fallout occasionally go on sale for quite cheap, along with the sequel which seems pretty similar to the first. Maybe I should check that out as well at some point, but for now, I think I need a rest.
Look at what you just did! Did you not see that pile of dirt? You just kicked and spread it all over.